Welcome to Louisa Rottinger's haunted castle. Once a bustling bed and breakfast, it was situated lucratively between the town market and the village. And with a day and a half's journey between the two, the bed and breakfast was a much welcomed stopover for people to pass the night and continue on their journey the following day. It so happened that time passed and the Rottinger household experienced evil. And in turn, she turned evil herself. And then they did the unthinkable. And when the news got out, the people deserted her business, and it became an abandoned, haunted castle. Some of the people and the villagers remained ignorant and dared stay the night every now and again. Well, needless to say, they didn't live to see another day. Some of the children in the town also came around for trick or treating. After every treat, there was a trick. They never found their way home. Upon entering this gruesome residence, over on the left was a grand dining room. It had an entree set out that had been left to rot. It was abandoned, for guests never came. Guests never feasted. On the wall was an eerie row of pictures. Within the frames was fear, heartache, and loss. Over on the right of the hallway was the living room, with nothing living in it. The fireplace was alight, but still there was a chill. Further on, there was a guest bathroom, with a coffin for a tub. And the kitchen had a cook that cooked and cooked and cooked. The silverware was gruesome, and it was rumored that the ingredients used were not palatable by humans, and anyone who had eaten in this residence didn't live to tell the story. The Cains family had to stop over and spend the night in this residence. Despite the rumors, this loving husband had to consider his pregnant wife. She was due to give birth any moment, and the distance to their home was quite away. The Rottinger household was more than obliged to give them a treat and give them the master suite. Louisa Rottinger wanted a son, as she already had a daughter and had wished 8 girl pregnancies away. It was rumored that the souls of those daughters were in the basement and haunted the residence. When random villagers who weren't pregnant asked for a room for the night, they were given the accommodation on the 3rd floor. But when it was time to leave, in the early hours, the 2nd floor became a labyrinth of a maze. This evil maze wrapped around Louisa Rottinger's evil chamber, where her and her husband conjured up all kinds of evil spells. And when they lost their way and ended up in her chamber, she fed them to the dragons. And that's how the cycle repeated itself. The guests went through the 2nd floor, which was a beautiful large recreation room, to get to the 3rd floor where their accommodation was. And each time in the early hours when they set out to leave, it became a maze. They complained of footsteps in the night, and when they'd come out of their room, there would be no one. No housekeeping, no new guests, just footsteps. Slowly but surely, over the days and the weeks, these rooms became unoccupied. But when they were occupied, the guests would make their way up the staircase to a little breakfast room and nibble on some of the things that they had brought back from the marketplace. They would snack in this place without realizing it would be the last time they ever snacked. Some would sit in this reading room, read a book, enjoy the fireplace without realizing it would be the last time they read a book. It would be the last time they enjoyed the fireplace. The tallest towers in the building had 2 spiral staircases that led to 2 individual rooms. One had a secret wardrobe, which housed the flying broomstick mostly used by Louisa Rottinger's daughter. The second room, however, was rumored to have been haunted by a mother and daughter who went missing in the castle. It is said that when the light flickers, the daughter was asking her mother to knit another overall because it was too cold. That evening, the Cain family had knocked on the door of the Rottinger bed and breakfast. Upon sighting that the missus was pregnant, they were quickly ushered in and served an elaborate dinner. "How can we ever repay you?" the Cain family said. Miss Rottinger said, "I have everything I've ever wanted, but I've always wanted a son." That night, when the lights were out and all was still, the Rottinger couple resumed their evil deeds. They conjured, they cast spells, they spun their wands, and they made potions. All this effort was made to meet with the unborn son in Mrs. Cain's womb. Rottinger succeeded and took the child while they slept into her secret chamber in her basement. The rumors were true. All 8 of her daughter's ghosts were in a secret chamber. She had an altar prepared for the Cain child. She bonded with the child so that when the time came and he was delivered of his mother, within hours he would disappear and reappear in her arms as her own. There was a chamber that held the souls of the damned. These were the souls of ladies who had pregnancies that were girls. Her chamber was a sight to behold. All this took place while the Cain family slept peacefully in the master room, treated to the best night they had ever had in days, only to be tricked As far as Rottinger was concerned, the job was done. It happened as planned. They lost their child. However, the priest advised them that if they had faith, the child would be restored to their arms where he belongs. He had said that the Rottinger household were witches and they had to attend an important event, an All Hallows Night, and after which she had left with her household, they would all storm the castle, and with their prayer warriors, they would hunt down every evil spirit, and in so doing, they would locate her son and restore him back to his family. Ever so carefully, they went round the entire castle. It was a sorry sight. The couple particularly went into the room where they had spent the night. They searched and they searched. Finally, the priest located the basement, and he wasn't surprised to find the Cain child alive and well, as he had expected. He gave thanks to God, and then, with caution, proceeded to take the child out of the cot and alert the rest of the team that they had to leave right away, for as soon as he picked up the child, everything in the castle changed. And the witch, Rottinger, was aware that something was awry at her base. "Quick," he said to the team, "we must leave at once, for I have found the Cain child." They returned to the church, they gave thanks to God, and they rededicated the child back to the Cain family where he belonged. He told them they should fear nothing, for the Rottinger household, as it stands, has come to demise. Indeed, Rottinger came home and lost it. Everything she had hoped for, gone in one night, and she perished. The same happened to her daughter. She ran to the left and to the right. When she saw her mother had come to demise, she lost it too. She perished. Needless to say, the father died instantly. To this day, people still go by this castle and think, trick or treat. I wouldn't if I were you. Do be careful out there.